celebrating? You see all of these pictures around me of the G20 Summit showing the highlights of the Prime Minister's meeting with some of the world leaders. This particular picture is from one of the sessions of the G20 Summit. So let's talk about that in our next report. What exactly are we celebrating? The fact that we've seen a successful handling of the G20 Summit, and then you had the historic Delhi Declaration being signed, an unprecedented consensus. Many thought it wouldn't happen. And that's what's led to the G20 Summit being hailed by world leaders. Every single leader from across the world who flew down to Delhi hailed how it was arranged, hailed India's presidency, and hailed the fact that we managed to ensure that everyone came onto the talking board and that there was a consensus built. Let's recap for you some of those highlights of the global achievements that we managed during the G20 Summit.
हमारी टीम्स के हार्डवर्क से और आप सभी के सहयोग से नई दिल्ली G20 लीडर्स समिट डिक्लेरेशन पर सहमति बनी है.
It was a difficult and ambitious target, but the 18th G20 was successful in all its parameters. It set the agenda for the divided world and taught it to live together with individual differences.
First of all, please allow me to thank Prime Minister Modi. Faithful to its principles, India did its utmost for its presidency of the G20 to serve unity and peace and send across a message of unity while Russia is still waging its war of aggression in Ukraine.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank India for a gracious and a very successful term presidency. I would like to thank His Excellency Prime Minister Modi for the gracious hospitality that was shown to my personal self, my spouse, and my entire Turkish delegation.
When the world couldn't be brought together to agree on a conflict, when the war in Ukraine polarized the world, the 18th G20 president showed the world how to address the crisis from the point of view of the affected.
सबका साथ की भावना से ही भारत ने प्रस्ताव रखा था कि अफ्रीकन यूनियन
55 countries association, the African Union was voted as the new permanent member to the group because Africa, consisting of the most members of the global south, is reeling from the after effects of war in Ukraine.
आप सबकी सहमति से मैं अफ्रीकन यूनियन के अध्यक्ष को G20 के स्थायी सदस्य के रूप में अपना स्थान ग्रहण करने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं.
When the dragon threatens the world with its nefarious financial aid as loan, India as G20 president set the agenda on multilateral development banks for relief. But the bigger headline internationally was the development of a new ship and rail corridor connecting India to the Middle East and the Mediterranean Sea, challenging China's economic clout in the region and its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative.
As a key part of this corridor, we're going to invest in ships and rail that extends from India all the way to Europe, connected by the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Israel. Bridging ports across 2 continents, unlocking endless opportunities, including making it far easier to trade, export clean energy.
Vishwaguru has taught the world to be green and clean as the Delhi Declaration reiterated the 2070 climate goal of reaching net zero target. Brazil has a tall task lying ahead, carrying on the baton as the new president of G20 from India. Bureau Report, India Today.